Hey welcome to Zville Lessons for Live channel. My name is Xander Verlaine. This is lesson 14 in our beginner guitar lessons series. Today we're going to cover the last two lessons like usual, and we're going to expand upon what we've been learning and also learn a few new things as well. Some tricks to full chords that you're not playing the full chords, and I'm going to show you where they are in particular songs that you probably know, and also sevenths based out of your fifth string root note. So let's get right into this. Welcome to lesson 14 in our beginner guitar lesson series. We're going to recap some of the stuff, but not all of the stuff in the last couple lessons because you're already working on it. Can't you see? And Call Me the Breeze. Hopefully you've gone out to find that lesson on our channel for Call Me the Breeze. Last lesson we got into all the augmented positions of the D chord position. Right? And then I was showing you how you can move this up. This is a D minor, and you can move that up. Bottom three strings. And same with the D. Now these are based on the other thing we were talking about, which was working complementary notes to an open string. So you got your A on your fifth string, then you've got your E as your bar chord or your power chord. Well, you can keep going up the neck. 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12. That works on every position, every string except for the B. In the G position, you got to shift it up 1. So you're 3, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, and then 13 if you want to make it a full thing like the other ones. We're talking about that. We were talking about little bits and pieces of different songs. We touched, because of this, right? That works on the G, for the G chord, but it also works on the open E. But instead of going to the 6th fret, 3, 5, 6, for the blues, you go 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12 when you're doing the E string, not when you're doing the G string. See how that doesn't work, but this does? This works here, but it doesn't work here. You got to go up here. It's just the one note difference. We were talking about how that fit into songs, but now when you go to the open E, that happens to be what the guitarist for Tom Petty does a lot of that kind of stuff. Right? Something like that. That's not exact. But because I was showing you that, I decided to show you the other part because at this point you should be learning leads, and this is a pretty easy lead to work on, and it'll help your playing a lot. And that was, since the song's out of A, which is an A minor, right? This is your A minor pentatonic scale first position. We were working on that too, and we started adding the 4th position. Today I'm going to add the 5th position, which brings you back to the 1st position. And I'm going to show you how that works in a little bit. But to start with, let's just recap this real quick. In the A minor pentatonic scale, the easiest part for a new beginner to play leads out of, and us old guys too, are the 5th, 4th, and 3rd strings because it's a box. It's 2 up. That's the same thing you do with your power chords, your bar chords. Here 2. Blues, you're going up 2. You're up 2 right here. And you go up 2 here. It's boxes, right? Then it switches and it goes 1, 4 on the B string, your 2nd string. 1, 3, 1, 4, right? Well, a lot of guys, a big part of playing isn't necessarily to do this, which you could do, but it's also you can get away with this. Hear that? And the reason is that's part of the complementary notes to the A scale. It's a complementary note. So that's that Tom Petty, Mary Jane's Last Dance lead segment, the first part. You're going on the 7th fret of your 2nd and 3rd, 5th fret of your 2nd and 3rd, and then your 7th fret of your 4th by itself. You give it a little bend there. And then the second part was this. 8th to the 10th to the 12th to the 10th. All the complementary notes that go with E. That's what he's doing in there. He's playing that. So we're working on all that kind of stuff. You can go back and work on the songs. You can check out lessons 10, 11, and 12 if you want to really kind of like check out the beginnings of and the bases of Can't You See and Call Me the Breeze. Those are the two that we're working on, that I had you kind of working on. Now, we also had you going up the scale here. Now let's get into this lesson. We had you going up the scale on these notes. And I was having you use your index finger as your indicator because there's your D. See how they all work together? Like it all works together. It sounds really good. You can go to any one of them because remember, just like here, just like you'd go D, D sharp, E, or here, D, D sharp, E. You can do that here too. Here's your D. As long as you play only the bottom 3 strings, D sharp, E, E sharp, or F, F sharp, G. Right? So those will work anywhere, but if you want to add that D note in, that open 4th string, it's not going to work there. It will work here because of the complementary note thing we were talking about. So when you're working up the scale and you want to include that root note, you can do just the ones that we talked about, but you don't necessarily have to. I touched on in the last lesson that during Give a Little Bit by Supertramp, they do this. And this. They do both of those. They both work complementing the D note, right? But they're not going to use that root note in there. They're just going to stay on the bottom 3 strings, 1, 2, and 3. And what they're doing here is they're doing that. They're going D to a G, to an A, to a G, to a D. I was talking about using your index finger as you're climbing if you're using that D note. Because you want to find the complementary chords now, not just notes, but a full chord to go with your open D. If you're not doing that D and you're just doing the bottom 3 strings, this is your note. That's your note that establishes the root note of this chord. If you're only playing the bottom 3, because this is a D. Here's your open D, 4th string. There's your D note, right? On your B, C, C sharp, D. So there's your D. So now we know that this, on your 2nd string, that's going to determine where you're at. So D, E, right? F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. So now we know where we're at. Then here's your D again, which they do at the very end of the song. This is Give a Little Bit. I'm not going to teach you the whole song. I just wanted to show you a little bit of their shuffle lead section during this song, because they're doing exactly what I've been trying to teach you guys with this stuff. Instead of taking weird augmented sevenths, ninths, whatever, they're just taking the basic chord. Now, what is this? That's a weird one, right? No, it's not. You got to look at it in the big picture, right? So here's your A major chord in a bar chord position right there. I'm going to just say the frets as I work from 6 to 1, right? 5, 7, 7, 6, 5, 5. Oh, what's this? 6, 5, 5. 6, 5, 5. That's it. They're going from a D to a G to an A to a G to a D again. In a different part of the song, they're going from an A to a G to a A to a G to a D. A to a G to a D. This is the same thing. A, G, D. A, G, D. In basic relative terms, that's what they are. You could do this. You could do that, the full A major, G major, and then back to that open D major, but you're not gonna. That's kind of what they do in this song. And then in another part they go, because they want this top end. Here they don't want that top end. This one's easy. Bottom 3 strings, you're doing part of a major chord. You can move this anywhere and it's easy because you're using your 6th string root note for that. So you can go almost anywhere on the 6th string and find it pretty quick probably by now if you guys are new, because you've been working on, where's that song? Where's the G note? Well, we know that's there. G, A, right? B, C, D, and E, right? So if you're here, A, B, C, D, and E. Now you just add that 3rd string. Just move it up one fret from your main thing to get the top end of that major chord. So that gets you thinking outside the box a little bit. And that's what I want you guys to keep doing. Work on the things. But if you're instead of using your G note, finding the complementary notes to the G note, find your complementary notes to the open E. Nope. And now let's get back into the pentatonic scale. We didn't get much into this on the last lesson because I was teaching you this, which is the same as I kind of was showing you a lead that would go. On your 4th position, it's 1, 4, 1, 4. This is your 4th position of your A minor pentatonic scale. The reason I think this is an important one, and I've told you this before, is there's your A note on your 5th string. So you got your A note on your 6th string for position 1. Here's your A note on your 5th string, which is the next important A note, right? Your root note. So that's a 4th position. So I've always thought this is a good position because it's easy to find. Once you get down like I know this is a D because I play chords here. So if you're doing a lead out of a D, you're up here on your first 1 4 1 3 1 3 1 3 1 4 1 4, first pentatonic position for your minor pentatonic scale out of D. Here's your D. Well, now you just discovered exactly where that fourth position is. Now you can move back and forth between the two because you can find that root note real easy. When it comes to the other ones, they're in arbitrary positions that really don't fall into the guise of finding it easily because there's no root note to search for. If this is your fourth position here, right, that's your A minor pentatonic scale root note out of the fifth string on the 12th fret, so that's your fourth position. It's also going to be in your open position. So it's going to be open 4, open 4, open 3, open 3, 2, 4, open 4. Here's your first position. Here's your fourth position. There's only one position between those. That's the fifth position. This is your 1. This is your, this is your fourth, right? Here's your fifth. The good thing about the fifth, just like the first, is when you do your first one, there's no jumping back and forth on different positions here. It's all on the fifth fret, on the bottom end of your scale or your climb. It's all on the fifth fret. You're only changing it here, back and forth. Same thing here. You're only going to change it here, back and forth, between the second and third frets, because all your notes are going to be based right here, right? So it's 2 4 2 4 1 4 1 4 2 4 2 4. That's your fifth minor pentatonic scale out of A position. If your root note is an A, and this is 1, this is your fifth. 2 4 2 4 1 4 1 4 2 4 2 4. This is your fourth. 1 4 1 4 1 3 1 3 2 4 1 4. So if you think about it, right, you're going 1 4 1 4, then 1 2, then 1 2, then 1 4. And then 1 4, or 2 4, and then 1 4. So it's 4 4 3 3 4 4 for the fourth, and that would be the same thing here. 2, you're doing the same notes. But now this is your top end because you're going to your fifth position. So let's go ahead and take a look at this as a exercise in doing 1, 2, and 3. So it's actually, but you're doing 4, 5, and 1, right? Because it's fourth position. Fifth position. First position. I don't want you to worry about the other positions yet. Just that fourth position is really important. The first position is the most important. Fourth position to me is the second most important. Now we're locking them together. Now it's one long, now you're covering a good chunk of the fretboard. And if you wanted to, you could go in between them, right? Because you go. And you start climbing the neck. You go 1 4 1 4 1 3, which is also your 1 4 1 4, which is also your 1 1 3 1 4 1 4. Let me take that slow so it makes sense to you. Fourth position is 1 4, 1, 4, 1, 3. Stop climbing there and switch to the 5th position. Now this is your 1 instead of your 3, and you're going 1, 4, 1, 4, stop. You could go up another string, but I'm going to have you stop there. 1, 4, 1, 4. That's no longer a 4, now that's a 1 on your 1st position. 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. Here we go. 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 3, which is 1, 4, 1, 4, which is 1, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. That's an in particular climb, but you could do it, you could switch here. You can switch anywhere you want. You can switch on any in particular string, but you're still climbing note by note. You're not skipping. You're not going backwards. You're just going 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 1, 4, 1, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. Now I'm going to do that same thing, and instead of counting the 1 4s and the 1 3s, I'm just going to say what position of the A minor scale, pentatonic scale I'm in. 4th position, 4th position, 5th position, 1st position, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 1, 4, 1, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. Again, with which scale I'm in. 4th, 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 5th, 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 6th, 1st, 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 1st. I want to say 6th, but you're going back to the 1st because there's only 5 positions, right? Position 4, 5, 1st. Now I'll kind of do it quick so you can see how it works. That's when you tie the pieces together. 4th position, 5th position, 1st position, right? That's what I want you guys to work on in this lesson. 2, 4, 2, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, right? Try using your pinky. If you can't, if you're having a really hard time, you could do this. That's going to be tough on you too, especially way up here. It's easier down here, but way up here, it's a pretty good reach. Might be easier just to keep working that pinky. I want to touch on one more thing before the end of this lesson, and that's we were doing your D major in the last lesson. Then you had your sus 4, your sus 2, your minor, and then your 7th. I also touched on in the rhythm, the actual opening. Now right there, I added that pinky, A minor, right? The lesson's on our channel if you want to go learn this. But this, when I add that pinky to the 3rd fret of the 1st string, when you're doing an A minor, this is really hard. I don't want you to do this, so you can try it if you want, but that's not what I'm trying to show you. What I'm trying to show you is this as a 7th. That's an A minor 7th. You can add 7ths to every chord. Here's your D, here's your D 7th. Watch the last lesson if you haven't seen that yet. You got your D, you got your sus 4, sus 2, your minor, your 7th. That's in a ton of songs, by the way. Pink Floyd, Simon and Garfunkel, all kinds of great stuff. They use a lot of that kind of stuff in there. Here it is again, that same position. Here it is on the D. Well, here's the 7th. It's based out of what this note is. So here's your 5th string, 5th fret, that's your D. If you, instead of doing a D, which is a bar chord, but it's also part of your major and your minor, but it's your bar chord. To do a seventh, there it is, D seventh. You're supposed to also put your pinky on the same fret, which would be the 5th fret as your root note, because you got your 5th string, 5th fret as your root note. That's how you know what position this in particular 7th is, right? You're also supposed to put your pinky on the 5th fret of your E string, getting rid of that B altogether by muting it. The way I'm muting the B string, the open B string, is I'm leaning my ring finger into it instead of holding clear. See that? Here it's open. That's your B that shouldn't be there, so I lean it into it. Right? So you do the that's your full 7th, D7th, right? Because your root note is here on your 5th string. Then you go on 5th fret, 5th string, 4th fret, 4th string, 5th fret, 3rd string, and then 5th fret, 1st string, muting the 2nd string. But let's not worry about that pinky. And this should be a relatively easy one for you guys. 5th fret, 4th fret, 5th fret. 5th string, 4th string, 3rd string. D, D flat, C, B. That's a really important one in a lot of songs. Instead of doing a B there, you would do it here. You're supposed to add that. Once again, you're supposed to add that pinky. Hear that? I want you to work on that. It's called the Jimi Hendrix chord because Jimmy would use it. Let me clean this up a little. I think it's in Purple Haze, and that's why they call it the Jimi Hendrix chord. I use it in a song, Bullets, one of my tunes. I use it in about 5 songs. That's an E. So you can actually play your 6th string open. Because remember, whatever position this is in, whatever note you're in on the 5th string with your middle finger, that's 7th, 6th, 7th, 5th string, 4th string, 3rd string. That's your E 7th. If you want to make it full, you put your pinky on the... But just do that. So that is another thing I want you to start working on. Once again, let's go ahead and take it out of D. 5th fret, 5th string, 4th fret, 4th string, 5th fret, 3rd string. Go ahead and move it down 2 and you've got your C. Move it down 1, you've got your B. Move it up to the E on your 5th string. F, G, A, right? E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. So go ahead and move that around. But here's the important one. A lot of people play the B 7th chord. Dock of the Bay, tons of songs. Use that. Sometimes they'll do this. Sometimes they'll do this. Kodachrome. Kodachrome by Paul Simon. That uses this too. Lots of songs. Those just popped into my head. So work on that as well. Hey, so that's it. I hope you guys got something out of this lesson, and if you did, please hit like and subscribe. That'll help our channel grow. Check out another video. Go ahead and click this link over here. Check out our channel, see all our videos and playlists. Click that link over there. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. We'll see you on the next one.